Thank you, Kevin, and I share those same sentiments. Our prayers go out to so many law enforcement officers who lost their lives in the last year. And every day, we thank those Capitol Police officers who risk their lives to keep us safe and to keep this Capitol hopefully open again to tourists who can come to the Capitol to see their government in action. But what we're here to talk about today is Speaker Pelosi's constant attempt to cover up facts that she doesn't want out there. You know, for weeks now, Jim Jordan and Jim Banks have been raising some very tough questions that need to be answered about why Speaker Pelosi didn't make sure that Capitol Police had all the tools they needed to be prepared for that day. Now, maybe because they were raising those questions, they got canceled by this new cancel culture that we see moving throughout the country, led by Speaker Pelosi and a lot of our socialist allies here in Congress, where they want to shut out voices that raise tough questions that they don't want to be asked or answered. And yet, they were starting to raise those questions about why the Capitol Police didn't have the tools they needed. What kind of intelligence did Speaker Pelosi get early off, weeks in advance, as Leader McCarthy talked about, that gave telltale signals that could have prevented what happened on January 6th. But Speaker Pelosi said that she doesn't want those questions asked, so she kicked them off the committee. She took an unprecedented step of refusing to allow members to be appointed by the minority leader to a select committee. Had never before happened in the history of Congress. And so as we see these kind of actions taken by Speaker Pelosi to cover up the facts that she doesn't want out there, it has completely debased the legitimacy of this commission, because clearly they're not searching for the truth. They're searching to get a narrative out that Speaker Pelosi has already written. And anybody that's going to ask questions that go against that, she just has them removed so that they can't bring those questions up. That's not an investigative panel. People know that. We've seen other bodies. The Senate's done some investigative work. The Department of Justice has done some investigative work. And it should be about following the facts, not about trying to cover up facts that tell a story differently than the one she maybe has already had written, and she just wants to now get others to back it up. So it's unfortunate that she's done it, because clearly it can't be about people who voted against certifying electors, because she appointed members herself who voted against certifying electors on January 6th, against them on January 6th of 2005, some of her own members who objected on January 6th of 2017. So clearly that's not what it's about. It's probably more about some of the tough questions that were already being raised by Jim Jordan and Jim Banks. And that's a shame, because those questions need to be asked and answered as well. And now they're not, because of the cover-up that Speaker Pelosi's continued to do. We see this with COVID. She won't hold a hearing on the origins of COVID. Too often we've seen this pattern by Speaker Pelosi of trying to cover up a narrative that she doesn't want out there, when we should be trying to get all of the facts. Now, to come up next is our conference chair, Elise Stefanik.